Welcome to episode 23 of Star Wars Culture Live, a fairly new podcast focusing on Star Wars excitement and connection, your escape pod for hyperspace buzz and fandom fixes. As always, I am Ian, this is Marty, and this is where the fun begins. Instead of the negativity you often find on the Star Wars side of the internet, we want to talk about the things we love about Star Wars, how it enriches our lives, the community, the culture, the fans, the media, anything at all. So, as always, throughout the show or afterward, if you have anything for us, reactions, questions, requests, suggestions for future segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments and we will see what we can do. And don't forget to check us out on all the socials. We're in a few new places now. I'll get to that in a second, but on all the socials, we're mostly at SW Culture Live. We're also now streaming on episode 9 news on Facebook. We're also on Twitter, but all those places. And then we're also on audio podcast sources. Why did my lightsaber just die? We're also on audio podcast sources on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So leave us a 5-star review there. That would greatly help us out. We are streaming for some new audiences. This is by far the largest live viewership that we have ever had. So welcome everyone. We're now streaming on episode 9 news on Facebook, and we're streaming on our Star Wars Culture Live Twitter. So welcome. We're gonna do. We usually do just a little host fun fact here, but I think now that we have we're streaming in more spaces, we have a lot of this audience for the first time. Why don't we go ahead and do like a full intro section? So Marty, who are you? Tell us.
All right. For the new listeners out there, my name is Marty. I'll start that. I go by, usually it's Martin, but Marty for everybody. Marty's fine. Marty McFly, whatever. Just don't call me late for lunch, dinner, whatever.
I have never heard that part about Marty McFly. I'm never calling you anything else again. So sorry, keep going.
So anyway, so I am a lifelong Star Wars fan. Been a fan since as long as I can remember. I feel like it's since I can walk. It feels like. I've been a part of Culture Slate for over 3 years, I believe now, doing graphic designs. It's my designs that you see for like the thumbnails for not just our show, but for stuff that I do for Star Wars Underworld. Like I do their thumbnails. I do some for Culture Slate for their videos as well. But that's about it really of stuff. I just celebrated a birthday Monday. Got a couple of cool Star Wars items. I do want to show off one, maybe both of them actually. It's kind of hard to see, but it is a signed autograph. My wife got it for me from an auction site. This is Sam Witwer's autograph.
Yes, Darth Maul himself.
Darth Maul sitting on the throne.
Yeah. Yes.
It's really cool.
That was him in the Solo movie, right? That was Sam Witwer.
No, well, it's his voice, yeah. But this was the this is a photo of him sitting on the Mandalorian throne.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I couldn't see the photo in the dark.
Yeah, it was very difficult, very hard to see. And then, last but not least, my wife got me this new backpack. I'm gonna use this now.
God. Yes.
From Heroes and Villains.
Oh yeah, great store.
Oh yeah, great store.
Great store.
Very good quality. I'm gonna start switching everything over to start using that now. Can't wait. Yes.
Fully agree with that. I have their X-wing pilot duffel bag. It's like bright orange and has the big Rebel pilot. It looks like it's like orange and has the like white trim, like it's like an X-wing pilot uniform. It's awesome.
Nice.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So anything? End off with a fun fact for us. What was a Star Wars or non-Star Wars fun fact about you?
Okay, I might repeat a couple of these things but for the new listeners out there, not only am I a Star Wars fan, I am also a fan of Lord of the Rings and also Superman. My birthday actually had a theme, and it was Superman.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly Man of Steel, the Henry Cavill Superman.
I was about to say, this must be an exciting time for you as a Superman fan.
Oh yeah, definitely. I am excited. I'm actually excited a little bit for the movie coming out in July.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, his outfit kind of like confused me a little bit, but if I see a lot of hardcore DC fans, hardcore Superman fans excited about it. So if they're excited about it, I'm excited about it for them. It weirded me out a little bit, but I'll try it. Cool. So that's Marty at Marty21794 on X and Instagram, right?
Instagram, X is, I think, just Martin Ingleston. I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh, okay.
I kind of deactivated my X account for the time being.
Fair. Okay.
But yeah, I am also on TikTok for a little bit. I only got like 5 videos, I believe, posted right now. It's me doing Yoda
Mostly,
impressions.
I was about to say Yoda impressions. They're really
Yeah,
good.
so check those out. The more I feel like I might start it up again. I'm kind of toying with the idea. Might do more than just Yoda. We'll see.
Do it. Yeah, so that's Marty. I am your other host, Ian, at Nerdiest Stepdad. As my name implies, I have 2 stepkids. I also now have 2 bio kids. They are, oh my gosh, I would list the ages, but that's probably some sort of non-safety thing. But the stepkids are older, and the bio kids are younger. I have a toddler and a baby that's not crawling yet. So. But I love being a dad. I love being a stepdad, but I also love being a nerd. I am at Nerdiest Stepdad I have a pretty large following on TikTok and Instagram for nerdy stuff. A lot of Star Wars, a lot of Marvel. I have been getting so hard into Sabacc lately. You turned me on to that, Marty. You got me on that app, and now I call myself the Shift King because there's a ranked version of Coruscant Shift on that app, and I have the most wins in the world right now, and I cannot stop. I can't stop playing it. It's so good. But I've been putting credits at home. Like, I taught my kids how to play. They don't like playing with me because I always win. I'm not trying to always win. I'm not trying to beat them like it's Mario Kart. I'm just trying to play, and I just keep getting great cards, and they just keep getting terrible cards, and I can't help that. Whatever. But anyway, I've been a fan of Star Wars since since my dad showed it to me, like before I was 10. I was always creeped out because the front of the cover just showed Yoda on it. It was this little green guy with weird ears, and I was like, I don't know. But once my dad showed it to me, and then especially once I saw the prequels come out when I was in like middle school, then it was over, and I was a complete Star Wars nerd. As we've kind of alluded to, we like to focus on the positives. Like, we don't 100% love every single product that Star Wars comes out with, but like, we're also not gonna sit here and crap on it like a lot of YouTubers or a lot of people. We like to focus on what we like. We like to focus on what was great, what we're excited about. We like to go into fun discussions about, like, today's episode is all about a hypothetical, like, what if scenarios, and it's a Star Wars podcast from Culture Slate, focusing on the positive and the community of Star Wars. It's called Star Wars Culture Live. Like, we like to focus on conventions, cosplayers, fan reactions to things, or I don't know, anything. And like we said, like, anything. If you guys have ideas, put them in the comments. Tell us what you want to see. We try and put up polls sometimes when we remember to be active on X and Blue Sky and Instagram and things. Yeah, so I don't know. Without further ado, let's get into some Star Wars news here. If you guys, we can see right now we have 217 live viewers, which is crazy for us. It's not usually that high, but if you could throw up in the comments where you're watching from, or like what your favorite Star Wars movie is, like, give us some interactions here. That'll be awesome. We want to know you guys. But for right now, let's go into some news. We like to get our news from Star Wars Underworld, not underground. I said it. So let's look at some news here. So first off, Hayden Christensen and Vanessa Marshall are now officially on the guest list for Star Wars Celebration Japan. I remember one of the clips from of Hayden Christensen that's one of my favorites is him at Star Wars Celebration and getting just all the love from these fans, and he was like, "We love you, Hayden," and that was like one of the best ever. Bay Area, nice. Sup, Kevin? Awesome profile picture. But yeah, Hayden and Vanessa Marshall are now officially going to Star Wars Celebration. It's going to be awesome. There's speaking of Star Wars Celebration, 60 days left until that. I just saw a post that tickets are now sold out. So if you don't already have your tickets, I got some unfortunate news for you. But you can maybe get next year. I don't know where it's going to be. That might have been announced. I don't remember. Rumor, according to Daniel RPK 112, both Dave Filoni's Star Wars film and the Daisy Ridley-led New Jedi Order are expected to begin filming next year. I am excited for both of those. I'm excited for anything that Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau just has their hands on. I'm like, gimme.
Yeah, definitely.
I trust you with my life and the Star Wars universe. I guess my life within the Star Wars universe. But yeah, that's they're coming out, going to begin filming next year. I'm glad to hear that they're like officially breaking ground. I'm going to come back to Luthen. Speaking of the Rey movie, Daisy Ridley recently discussed prioritizing quality over quickness for Star Wars New Jedi Order. She is talking to Hollywood Reporter. People have talked about it a lot. The release date often affects films and how quickly things go into production. So the freedom to make sure that this script is the best way to tell the story is wonderful, and I don't think any fans would want it to be rushed. Agree. The wait will be worth it. I know what George is working on, and he is a phenomenal writer, so I'm really looking forward to reading it, and yes, it's all worthwhile. Good. I love that. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I would very much rather it be out later with a good story than them just to push it out and the story not be any good. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong, I love Solo, but they rushed it out even with all the changes that happened. They should have pushed the date back a little bit further. The story could have been better, but they didn't. They decided to go with that. So hopefully they learn from that mistake and just let them write what's good.
Yeah, I loved Solo. But I agree. I'm sure there are ways that if you give it a little bit more time, it could have been better. I love the vibe of it. It's very like, I don't know, seeing the Corellia. Like we've heard so much about Corellia and we never really saw it in live action. But seeing that and seeing all the poker game, or not poker, sabacc game and all that little underworld situation was very cool. But yeah, I think it could have been a little bit more. I still liked it, and I still watch it often, but I feel like it's mostly for the vibe and less for the strict storytelling. But yeah, so we're glad to hear about that. Andor, Stellan Skarsgård performance as Luthen Rael in Star Wars Andor landed at number 85 on Variety's 100 Greatest TV Performances of the 21st Century list. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. I mean,
I feel like as much Star Wars as we've actually had on TV, and it being Stellan Skarsgård is pretty amazing itself.
Yeah. We just watched that episode of Andor where he's like, I burned my life to make a sunrise that I will never see. And we're like, oh my God, it's just so like the sacrifices that it takes to make these types of changes is just what a story that they're writing here. Like we talked about Andor a lot last week. Check out if you haven't watched it yet, which I'm sure most of you haven't. Check out Star Wars Culture Live on YouTube. We have all of our episode 23. We have all of our previous 22 episodes on there. Last week we went on a deep dive into all of the live action series that came out since since the first season of The Mandalorian, and we talked about how some of them kind of felt like a cash grab or fan service, and some of them were just straight quality. And I think we agreed that Andor was just top notch. And so yeah, well deserved, Stellan Skarsgård. Well done. His character. I can't wait for season 2. We'll get there too in a second. But last but not least, here is there is awesome art for the Star Wars Celebration badges by Takumi here. This like epic samurai style of this stuff. I feel like that's, I don't know, it's like super in right now. Like I play Fortnite and I'm not well. I'm not good, but I play it. And but this whole past season was like samurai versions of like we have like a samurai version of Baymax from freaking what's that movie called? Big Hero 6. But yeah, look at this stuff. Mon Mothma even. Oh my god. No.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't scroll this far before. Holy hell. Lightsaber katanas are a thing. That's crazy.
And they even got the bleeding effect.
Yep. Look at that. I didn't even see that. Oh my god. All right. Anyway, that's most of our news. Last thing is that if you start watching Andor season 1 now, 1 episode per week, then you will have 1 episode per week, and it'll lead you right up to the launch of season 2, which I did not realize it was that close. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
I guess Skeleton Crew ended, and they just came out with their big Marvel movie, and so they're letting that kind of settle, and then it's into Andor, and I will be glued to my TV. I'll watch with the kids on like the second viewing, but for the first viewing, it's going to be after bedtime. It's going to be me just like staring at the TV, like
yeah.
I'm not missing a moment. I'm not looking away from the screen for a second because it's just every single moment is so poignant.
Now, did they say? I can't remember, but did they say the first season premiere is a 2-episode premiere, or is it just 1?
Oh, I don't remember. I think it's just 1 because I think it's one of those things where it's in it's in groups of 3 episodes. So like there's 3 episodes, and then there's a year gap, and then there's 3 episodes, and then there's a year gap, and then there's the last 3 episodes. I think
that would make sense.
I wouldn't expect that they would put 2 out right away, but I don't know. I guess I should, if I'm that excited about it, and I don't know that. It's kind of embarrassing. So that's our news segment. Let's move on to Marty's segment on this day in Star Wars history. What you got, Marty?
All right. So for everyone new, watching, listening, whatever, yeah, each Wednesday I like to take it, whatever today is the show that we're doing. I like to do a in history segments. It's kind of fun. Some of them are good. Some of them are a little bland. Like I unfortunately, I feel like today's is a little bland, and that's because February 19th, 1944, Donald Glut, who wrote the novelization for The Empire Strikes Back, is born.
All right. Yeah, I feel like, hey, that's exciting for
I mean,
Donald.
it's exciting.
I'm glad you're
him,
here.
yeah.
I'm glad you wrote that, but yeah, I feel like they had to reach a little bit for something, to put there. It's no, yeah.
And you guys can also keep up with it every day. I actually get all this information. I don't know if I said it before anywhere, but I still have the Star Wars app on my phone. And one of the little things is finding this day in Star Wars history. And I always find it kind of neat.
Based on what I'm seeing, it looks like you can scroll through any day.
Yep.
Is that true? Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Nice.
Like I went back to my birthday. My birthday actually kind of was neat. There was like some kind of camp, a Star Wars camp that happened somewhere. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
I want to go to Star Wars camp. Is there an adult Star Wars camp?
Oh, I wish.
Fight with lightsabers?
That would be LARP, most likely.
Oh, that's fair. Star Wars LARP. LARP Wars.
LARP Wars.
LARP Wars. That's new Twitter handle right there. X handle. Sorry. All right, so that's his segment. My little stupid segment is the dad joke of the week, which I always I have a book of Star Wars dad jokes, and they're not all great, but a lot of them are great. So this week I'm going with you have to appreciate the engineering designs for the AT-AT's legs. It was no small feat. Yeah. It's
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, they're pretty big feet. Like if he's smashing a whole snow speeder. We hit 300 live viewers just then, and I'm gonna say it's because of the dad joke. So you're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. You pushed it over with the. Oh, we lost one.
No, we lost. Come back. Maybe there's a delay, and they heard the joke and then they left. That's probably why.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move into like the meat of our episode here, which is the main discussion. It's kind of a Star Wars what if. We did a while back, one of our first episodes, maybe even our first actual episode. We did what if Qui-Gon had survived? Like I don't know the mechanics of it, but we were like, if Qui-Gon had survived to train Anakin, like what would have been different? So we're just thinking about this. So we have two different scenarios. We have what if. So we all remember when Yoda and Obi-Wan come back. Like after Order 66 happens, Yoda obviously survives on Kashyyyk because how are you going to sneak up on Yoda? And then Obi-Wan survives on Utapau after Commander Cody, shoot that lizard. And so they go to the Jedi Temple and they're like, it's a pretty badass scene where they're just taking out all these clones. Like, forget the fact that they like might know a lot of them personally. Like, it's a 501st. Like, but they're just you're traitors. You're going down. And they have these awesome combat scenes there. And they go in and to the Jedi Temple, but so they obviously survive but the Jedi Temple is obviously taken over by the clones. Like the Jedi who are in there are defeated. So we have two what if scenarios to discuss. The first one is what if let's do the worst one first. We have two. The first one is what if Yoda and Obi-Wan had died in Order 66? What if both of them either were killed by their clones, like Obi-Wan didn't survive that fall on Utapau. Maybe Yoda was distracted on Kashyyyk and the clones got the drop on him somehow. Still not buying that really, but it's what if in a different Star Wars galaxy. And then the other one is what if the Jedi at the Jedi Temple successfully repelled the clone attack with Anakin? What if there were just too many Jedi and Anakin couldn't defeat them all and he was taken out and so were his clone troopers? So let's go with the dark one first. Let's say Yoda and Obi-Wan are both defeated. They die. Obi-Wan dies. Let's just for the sake of discussion, Obi-Wan dies from the fall in Utapau. His clones take him out and Yoda is overpowered on Kashyyyk and never makes it back to Coruscant. Neither of them make it back. So what happens now? What is next?
Well, the dark days just got darker because of that. I feel like one, they will actually be able to recover Obi-Wan's body since there actually is one. Two, these guys are literally the pivotal characters to move along to A New Hope and the original trilogy. Without these guys, the original trilogy won't happen. I mean, let's see. Padme won't have to die the worst way possible like that. I'd say like she'd still have to die, but she won't be probably birthing two children because of Obi-Wan saving her. I feel like there's gonna be some complications. It's really gonna put Anakin over the edge. So either way, he's still gonna be evil Darth Vader. Just now he doesn't have an apprentice son who wants to be an apprentice with.
Well, so let's talk about Padme. Padme went to Mustafar, but I feel like she was killed by Anakin in that moment because of his anger at Obi-Wan. Like he felt betrayed because she brought Obi-Wan. So is it possible that maybe like they have a discussion and she's like, she's still heartbroken or whatever, but maybe it doesn't escalate to the point of him like choking her to death?
I mean, she wouldn't. I feel like she won't. He won't choke her because really, I feel like she was still conscious. She only died, and I fully believe this in the theory of Palpatine sucking the life out of Padme to give to Anakin
To save him.
to save him and to fuel his anger that Padme had died.
Okay, but he doesn't need to because Anakin wasn't defeated now.
Yeah, so he won't need to do that, really. But at the same time, she's more of a person who could persuade Anakin possibly back to the light, because if she feels like Anakin's not doing,
Good
like
things, yeah.
good things, she's gonna let him know about it.
Yeah, so I think it makes Palpatine's job harder because he needs a way to get Padme out of the picture and make Anakin Vaderkin as angry as possible. So, but he needs to get creative with it now because he can't just like, oh yeah, you killed her and now you hate yourself and you hate everybody and now you're an angry monster. Like he can't. It's not that easy. He has to somehow like make her. He has to make her die in a way that transforms Anakin into this angry beast. And I feel like that now becomes a lot more difficult if there's no Obi-Wan getting in the way to like, first of all, make him crippled and need all this extra technology to survive, but also to like to blame Padme's death on, or to get things escalated to the point where he accidentally kills Padme.
Right. And with Yoda out of the picture too, it's like, I mean, you got these two guys that Anakin very much respects. All right, so sure, and Obi-Wan probably went about it the wrong way of sneaking up to Anakin like that on Mustafar.
Yeah,
but
on Padme's ship.
On Padme's ship, yeah, no less. So it's like I feel like he kind of did that on purpose. Like I'm gonna piss him off a little bit more this way.
Yep.
But if he had went about it a different way, if say he was still alive at this point, but he was still alive, but he went about it a different way and talked to him without feeling like he's betrayed his, not just his trust, but with him, but with Padme as well, you would have had two people who would give you a conscience to say, Anakin, this Palpatine's not doing the right thing. He's not gonna give you the way to create life or save somebody's life. He's using you.
Yeah. There's a comment here that low-key, maybe she joined Anakin and he went on a good / dark path to destroy Palpatine. That's interesting.
So kind of like do good, do bad but for a good reason.
Yeah, I feel like Anakin would be down because he even mentioned destroying. He's like, I am stronger than the Emperor. I can overthrow him or whatever. I don't think Padme would be on board with that. She is so stuck to her diplomacy and her guns that way that her guns. She's stuck to her guns. She's stuck to her lack of guns. Her avoidance of conflict that I don't think she would. I really don't see how she and Anakin could see eye to eye after he turned to the dark side there.
No, because she even says, like, you're going down a path I can't follow.
Right. And that was before Obi-Wan showed up.
Yeah, it was literally right before he stood there on the ramp.
Yep. All dramatic.
Yeah, the Superman pose.
Yep.
And then
what a problem. the sassy one.
With Yoda gone too, I think I feel like Palpatine probably had some come up with some other ideas to I don't know. Let's say because he let Yoda survive during that battle. Like, well, I mean, he didn't let him, but he survived. Yoda survived the battle between him and Palpatine. I'm sure Palpatine then right there was like, okay, I got to come up with a plan now to destroy the Jedi. I got to find Yoda. What now? I feel like if he's already been taken out, I feel like Palpatine wouldn't be on such a war path. I would say because you're not giving the Jedi hope because Obi-Wan's killed. He couldn't go to the Jedi Temple to send out that message to them.
Right.
And you have all these Jedi coming back to the temple to be slaughtered.
Man, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They saved a lot of Jedi just by sending out that message. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, when exactly does Vader okay, no. The Order 66 stuff happens after Anakin turns, right? Yeah,
Like,
so he would have already
immediately during the Operation Nightfall where he's storming the temple.
Right. He would have already nice. The Battlefront reference. I see you. During the what's it called? The like right so he still would have been messed up like his appearance wise. I'm sure he engineered it that way, but he still would have been like physically altered to look more like the Emperor and not the Senator or the Chancellor we knew. Like that was the fight with Mace Windu was before all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Which he used that deformity to his advantage.
Yep. So basically, I mean, if we take this one further on, like there's no hope for the rebellion really. Right? Like Leia does not, I mean, the Death Star plans, she doesn't get that whole, she gets captured first off. There's no Obi-Wan to shut down the to bring Luke to, there's no Obi-Wan to watch over Luke first off. There's no Obi-Wan to like bring Luke to Tatooine. Luke is not a factor in this. Both of the kids, Luke and Leia, are both born. Leia doesn't go to the Organa family on Alderaan. Luke doesn't go to Tatooine. Those babies are either killed by the Emperor or raised in anger and darkness like Vader and the Emperor want them to be. So,
or they could be raised in secret, so that way Anakin can use them as like his like star killers from Force Unleashed.
yeah.
Train him secretly, so that way when he's ready for power.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I don't think that he could, because of how early in his Sithness they were born. I don't think he would know to hide them from the Emperor that quickly. I think the Emperor would be near them and sense them, and I don't think, unless he had some massive change of heart later on, I don't think he could really hide them from him. Or maybe that is now the new way to get him so angry that the Emperor stages a murder of his children. We're getting into some dark places here, but
the whole family, not just the kids.
Yeah,
right? Padme as well.
Yeah, like that. Maybe that's how he gets Anakin to that angry place to be Vader, is by literally murdering his progeny.
I'm kind of thinking we're kind of forgetting about two other key players that could kind of add into this, and that is
Jar
3PO
Jar
and
Binks.
R2.
Just kidding.
I mean,
Yeah. So yeah, where are they during all this? So
R2's with Anakin, and 3PO's with Padme. So, but I feel like Anakin wouldn't have the heart really to do anything to his favorite droids in the whole galaxy.
I don't
So,
know. I feel like after, I mean, for 3PO, I don't know. He probably was just on the ship. Like I imagine he would be overlooked. To be honest, I feel like Anakin forgot about him after he left for Coruscant. But I think R2. I think he would just erase his memory and be done with it. I think after he turns, nothing matters to him anymore. And I think he'd just be like, this could be a threat to our new like this knowledge of my past, or this knowledge of the Jedi and what we've done, and all this could be a threat in the future. So I'm just gonna wipe his memory. He's a useful droid.
oh, that's true.
Or even if he doesn't want to do it, he'll just order somebody to do it.
Yeah, or he could turn him like the dark droids from the comic series, like 000 and I forgot the other droid's name, where they're like his companions who also do a lot of murdering.
Oh yeah. So I think the last thing I want to talk about, the last thing I want to say as part of this scenario is the entire rebellion now rests on Ahsoka.
Yes.
That is the
Yes.
only chance that the rebels have, is this one person.
And even that took some convincing because she was on what was that
Mandalore?
planet after? No, it was when she went into hiding after Order 66. She went on a
Oh,
planet. It was from the Tales of the Jedi miniseries,
I forget.
and
I only
the
watched that once.
and one of the Inquisitors came. After she took care of him, she called up Bail Organa, and she's like, I'm ready to join," basically.
Yep. Yeah. That's what do you think? Would Bale, I mean, Bale, his fate probably would have been about the same. Like he arrived and they were pretty in control already, so he probably
Yeah.
would have gotten out.
He probably would have
Cool.
left. He probably would have left the Senate a lot earlier than he did in.
Yeah, if it was clear that it was all the way, like how did he meet up with Obi-Wan and
Distress signal.
yeah, they got a message out. Okay, so he just wouldn't have, they just wouldn't have met up, and he would have had to do it on his own, and then yeah, Ahsoka. But that's, without Obi-Wan and Leia, also without Leia, but without Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke, and Leia, that job becomes a hell of a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do the fun one. Let's do
All right.
the other one. All right, back it up. We're gonna back it up, reverse to when let's say Anakin and the clones come into the temple, and they didn't know that there were like hundreds of Jedi just like back from their trips or whatever, and the Jedi sensed it. They sensed that it was going to be a problem, and he took like 1 battalion of clones in there, and obviously he's super powerful, but let's say that whatever 501st Legion he took into there, he and those troopers were not enough to overpower all the Jedi in the temple, and they killed all the clones, or killed them with their own bullets, their lightsabers, and then they overpowered Anakin. So first of all, do they kill Anakin? Do they capture him somehow? How does
I
that go?
feel
Like,
like it'll.
is he alive or dead after this?
I got two. It can kind of go both ways, but with them being Jedi, I don't think they'll kill first. They're going to do everything in their power to just capture him because Jedi don't kill. So they're going to do everything in their power, probably just beat the crap out of him until he's weakened. put him in like some kind of force field protection. Wait till Obi-Wan and Yoda show up, and
Maybe like
then
a
live his the rest of his days either in a prison uh, far away, or boot him to a remote planet where he can't get to anything or anyone.
I think it has to be trickier than that. Here's why. Because the clones still have power everywhere else other than the Jedi Temple. The clones and Palpatine is still the Chancellor, and if they get found out, like, he's still calling the Jedi traitors, so they're gonna have to pretty much like, and their leadership is decimated. Like, Obi-Wan and Yoda are still off planet, but the rest of the Jedi Council is just gone. So it's up to whoever the highest ranking Jedi, like the most elderly or the most, wisest, oldest master there, to decide what to do. And first of all, I don't trust that they will make the right decision in time. I feel like they'll just wait and trust in their own like hubris or whatever, and then even more clones will come and then they'll just lose all over again. But if someone, quick-witted and smart is there, then yeah, maybe they'll get him on a ship and send him, or even like, it's an emotional time, and these Jedi are not used to someone coming into the Jedi Temple and murdering all of their Padawans and the literal children. So I also don't think that it's out of the question that someone not necessarily falls to the dark side, but someone loses their Jedi composure, and if Anakin is overwhelmed, they just end it. Like, especially if it's like, if he's fighting a bunch of them. We're almost at 400 live viewers, by the way. Shout out. 400, there it is. Nice. In case you weren't watching earlier, drop a comment on the video and let us know where you're watching from. We're always curious to know, or drop what your favorite Star Wars movie or show is. We like to know that about our viewership. But yeah, I guess so. If they do overpower Anakin without killing him, then it would have to be someone in charge who is quick-witted and very quick to realize what's going on. Otherwise, they'll just be stagnant there and then not really have the upper hand for very long. Like, if someone realizes what's going on and gets him on a speeder and then gets him on a ship out of the system, and the Jedi now have Palpatine's right-hand man like under their control, that's a bargaining chip, and they can, hopefully hold off the takeover from there. But then it gets messy politically. It's like Palpatine's word against the Jedi's, and
the Jedi is already hated too. So
right, and so yeah. But I feel like sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but you were talking about the oldest and probably most wisest Jedi would probably be the one in charge when Yoda's not around. I think that's actually Master Terrace Anube, the dinosaur-looking guy. So I feel like, though, with him, I don't know, he's a little quick-witted. He might catch on a little bit. He might not seem like it because he's so slow, but he moves pretty quick.
He survived the asteroid that killed the rest of the dinosaurs, so he must know what he's doing. Yeah, I don't know much about him. Is he the one that was in that Clone Wars episode with Jocasta Nu and the bounty hunter?
He was the one where Ahsoka lost her lightsabers.
Yes, that one. Okay, yeah. And there was a bounty hunter pretending to be Jocasta Nu. The changeling. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. So yeah, he would I wouldn't say he's quick-witted, but he definitely is very wise and knows what to do. Like everything that he said led to the right outcome. So I feel like he would maybe realize that this is beyond his level of diplomacy, and then maybe like I could see him sending someone to create a distraction, and then him sending the body of Anakin out somewhere, or I don't know. I could see him being wise enough to maintain control.
Yeah.
If he's still alive at that point. That was early in the Clone Wars, so
he his body is actually on display in the Imperial Inquisitorium in Obi-Wan.
really,
Yeah, in that gelatin wall that they have of
yeah,
people, he was in
where
it.
I did not realize that. Oh god, oh so sad. I liked him. I mean, I knew he had to die at some point, but
Not that way, though.
no, I don't. I hope he no. Oh,
Like
freaking Vader,
a,
jerk. All right. Anything to add on the? So if we follow that out, so the Jedi. Let's say everything goes well. The Jedi defeat Anakin. Don't kill him. Put him on a ship with some secret Jedi, and he's off planet. And the Jedi Temple is safe for now. The Temple guards did their job, which we didn't see at all in Episode 3. But the Temple guards did their job. The Jedi did their job. The clones were repelled. It's now like a stalemate on Coruscant, right? Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan and Yoda get back, and they find, hey, the Jedi repelled this thing. Anakin is off world somewhere. So now what does Palpatine do?
I feel like he would use that to say that the Jedi went up against their own army, therefore making the public hate the Jedi more, unfortunately. And therefore they would still be hunted by a different team of Inquisitors, or I don't know. They might still have people recruit, like Vader recruit people for Inquisitors. Like if you stop being a Jedi and join us, you'll live.
Well, they can't have Vader recruit because he got defeated.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. That's true.
So
Duh.
that's what I was going to ask. So so did Vader do the recruiting for the Inquisitors?
I don't think maybe he did the recruiting, but he was kind of like oversaw it a little bit.
Okay.
I think maybe the Grand Inquisitor would probably be the first in line to be like, so if I join you, can I live? Like, I will hunt these Jedi down for you. Don't send in the army. They won't trust you. Let me in. I'll recruit a team who don't, really believe the Jedi anymore. Because, you have Barriss Offee, who disliked the Jedi methods at the time of the Clone Wars and defected to being a Inquisitor, as we saw in Tales of the Empire.
Yeah.
So you'll probably have a similar scenario of Inquisitors hunting down Jedi. The Jedi will probably have to leave Coruscant, because why would you stay at a capital planet of people that hate you?
I guess that part still would not change. Like that would have to stay the same, because they, there is still a clone army. Like they have almost limitless clones that they could just throw at the Jedi Order. But they like I feel like the overall effectiveness of the Inquisitors is not going to be the same, because they, like, Vader is Vader. There's no one like Vader. So I mean, if he recruited them, if he trained them, like there's not really a substitute for that. So I feel like his little band of Inquisitors, like if the Jedi repelled the clones, then there's enough Jedi left to take on whatever little Inquisitor squad they recruit right away. So I think I think it's less of a hunt and more of like an even fight where the Jedi are just kind of on the run and like a guerrilla force. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's less. The rebellion probably would have a much better jumping off point when there's dozens of Jedi being like, "Hey, this is what happened. We were there at the temple. Here's evidence that these clones and Anakin came in and slaughtered children." Like, I feel like that would turn a lot of planets to their side against Palpatine.
Yeah.
So they would have a much stronger leg up on the rebellion. It would just kind of be a civil war instead of a empire versus a small band of rebels. Agreed.
Oh yeah.
Vader is badass. All I
Um,
am surrounded by is fear and dead men.
if only really would help a cause, not just in our what if scenario, but even in the current canon, is what would have helped probably a lot was if somebody happened to have Rex's recordings of Fives' findings about the chip.
That whole thing was so freaking frustrating. Like, they're so close to figuring it out beforehand, and then it just, and you knew it. You knew it too. You knew that it wasn't going to actually. You knew the ending, and it still made you feel so many feelings.
Oh yeah. So because if they had that, they'd be like, now we can't trust the clones. Doesn't mean we can't trust our government. Like, could we not?
Like, who put these chips in the clones? Like, why is this thing? Like, if you have an investigation that is completely neutral, in the bureaucracy of the Senate. But if you have an investigation to that, like, what are they eventually going to find? I mean, probably nothing before they're all murdered, but
Right. But
still.
this would help the Jedi cause of
Yes.
being back in good graces with the people.
Yep. If that, like, like if they don't blindly follow Palpatine and the clones when they know that the clones have this flaw in them, like the Jedi are like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
We are a peaceful group of people. We are trying to help you.
Who knows?
We have our own problems, but yeah. All right. That's fun. I like these what if episodes. This was a good call on your part. We should do more of these.
Actually, I got another one in mind.
Good. Okay, all right, what's the one in mind? Give us a teaser for next time.
All right, so I'm thinking about what if Ahsoka's journey back to Coruscant with Maul was earlier and they made it back to Coruscant. Like, would she be helping stop the clones and Anakin at the Jedi Temple?
That would not be a moment that I would want to see. I mean, I do. Okay, I take that back. It would be a moment that I want to see, but I also don't want to experience the breadth of emotions that they would have to experience while going through it. Like, what if, like, there's a whole different what if episode about what if Anakin and Ahsoka had met right after he had turned to the dark side, but before he, like, got all mauled and turned into Darth Vader. Yeah, what if like Anakin met up with Maul and Ahsoka at the same time, where temporarily Maul and Ahsoka are aligned in their interests. Uh-oh. The lightsaber died. You know what that means?
I feel like maybe next week or next time we do a what if, it should just be like a variety of what if Ahsokas.
I like it. I'm
Because
down.
I feel like we got a lot of events that would happen if Ahsoka was or was not involved in certain things.
And I think that's the nature of when you create an awesome character that wasn't in the originals or the prequels yet, like, they had to create her in such a way that she didn't appear in any of those first 6 movies, but she was still a part of the story. So, like, that's rife with possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, my lightsaber batteries are telling me that it is time to get to the end of the show. So we're going to go to our last segment here, which is Star Wars trivia. And as always, it's one question that has to do with something that we talked about in the episode. I have not seen the question, but feel free to type the answer in the comments. We will see. There's no cheating or anything special going on, but just comment the answer. I'll wait a little bit before I comment my answer. I won't look at the I might look at the comments, but I'll tell you if I know or not. I have integrity. So yeah, take it away. Trivia challenge. Go.
All right, this is our one-shot trivia challenge for anyone who is here for the first time. Woo, where'd it go? It just disappeared on me. There we go. So one-shot trivia challenge used to be longer. I like one-shots better now. It's easier to think of questions. But here's our question that involves today's episode in some way. Ki-Adi Mundi was executed by clones on what planet? And I should have put during Order 66. Was it A, Kaller, B, Megiddo, C, Felucia, or D, Kashyyyk?
You are not going to believe this, but remember those 2 episodes where you were out and I did one episode with my stepson?
Mm-hmm.
This is literally the exact trivia question that I picked at the end to quiz him on. Because we talked about, I don't remember. We talked about Ki-Adi Mundi for some reason during that episode, and I was like, you know what? Let's do this because it Battlefront from 2005, right? 2005,
4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah. You absolutely know this.
20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God! Why did you? Don't say it like that.
It just popped into my head. Which, by the way, it means it's the 25th anniversary of 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh snap!
So we might get a theater release of the 20th anniversary.
Dude, I'm down. Let's do it. But my answer, by the way, is B, Megiddo.
And I will tell you that you are correct.
I know. Yeah, I remember that. The only reason I know the name of that planet is because that's the first. If you do the campaign on Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005 or whatever, that's the first mission, like the intro mission. You're there with Ki-Adi Mundi is the Jedi hero that you can become if you get a high enough score or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a fun.
But yeah, let us know if you got it right. And also let us know if you like the show. This is way more live viewers than we normally have. So we are always interested in your feedback, any questions or recommendations for segments or anything like that. But that's the end of our show. We hope you enjoy what we're doing here. We know Star Wars fandom and comment sections can sometimes get dark and toxic, but it does not have to be that way. We're trying to bring fun and positivity to the Star Wars side of the internet. Remember, there are more of us. Again, if you have anything for us, questions, requests, suggestions for future segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments, and we will see what we can do. Don't forget to follow us everywhere. If you're new, tuning in just for the first time today, check out our backlog of episodes. They're all on YouTube. There's a playlist. There's Star Wars Culture Live. There's a playlist of all our podcast episodes. All 20, I guess now 23 of them will be on there. So check that out. Check out Nerdiest Stepdad on pretty much every social platform that exists. I'm in there. And check out at Marty21794 on Instagram and TikTok, and Marty Ingleston on Facebook and X. And like I said, at SW Culture Live. And if you don't mind just giving a like, if you're still watching, giving a like or a comment or a share or something to the stream, that would totally help us out and get us some boost online here. So again, thank you for tuning in. We're excited to see all these new viewers. Join us again right here next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, to celebrate the best of Star Wars culture. Have a good night.